And welcome back, everyone, to Box Office Report today on the 11th of May, 2025. And we have a near identical weekend to the first weekend, minus the number 5 spot. Thunderbolts made it to number 1, not surprising, with another $33.1 million, dropping only 55.5%, which is right around where I thought it would drop, somewhere in the low to mid-50s. Sinners made another $21.1 million, dropping only 36.3%. On Minecraft, we made another $7.9 million, almost 8, 42.1% drop. Number 4, we got The Accountant 2, and a little over $6 million, dropping 35.8. And Clown in the Cornfield comes in at number 5 spot. I think I said more Shadow Force was more likely to come in at number 5 or something like that. Clearly, I was mistaken. The one thing I think I forgot to factor in with this was the fact that not only did Thunderbolts not have any competition really opening up this week, neither did anything else. Like, you had Clown in the Cornfield, Fight or Flight, and Shadow Force coming up this week. As we can see here, that's 5, 6, and 7, nothing making over 4 million. So, to be fair, it's before I probably didn't gauge that right, but Thunderbolts made another 33 million. Dropping 55% is honestly I'd go so far as to say it's better than what we could have hoped for. I mean, what we could have hoped for is more, obviously, but it's better than what it looks like. It could have been less of a drop? Sure. Could have been low 50s, high 40s? Sure. But 55, look, for the bigger tentpole movies, they usually have bigger drops the following weekend. They're usually, because everyone goes out to see them, they're so front heavy. But the beauty of let's say a Marvel film that or that only opens like, say, mid to low tens of thousands, no, mid to high tens of millions, like 75 million, is the fact that no, not everyone did go out to see it the opening weekend. So a lot of word of mouth actually has to come and save it. And when we look at it compared to Captain America and Brave New World, it's a far better job because Captain America dropped 68.3%. It had a bigger opening weekend, but it had a far bigger second drop. This is actually a really good number for this movie. It shows us that even though a little under half went the second week, a lot of people still want to go rewatch this movie. Hell, I might go and rewatch this movie at some point, just because I really, really enjoyed it. For all the Marvel movies that have come out recently, the only one I remember distinctly watching more than once in the theaters was Deadpool, Wolverine, and Guardians 3. And I think I watched the Marvels twice. Basically, once was on my own, the other was with my girlfriend. Other than that, though, I think I saw Quantumania twice. Again, once by myself, then with my girlfriend. I think I saw Multiverse of Madness twice. I saw Thor: Love and Thunder twice. But only Deadpool, Wolverine, Guardians are the only ones I've actually seen on my own more than once. Because usually, like, I'm not usually a one and done kind of guy, but at least not always. But when the Marvel films, unless it's something I'm just like, I need that experience again, I'm usually kind of one and done. And with like Deadpool, Wolverine, I need that experience again. This one kind of feels a little bit more like that. It's a good number. It's a solid. In fact, a lot of Marvel movies tend to drop more than 55%, well over 50, low or high 50s, low 60s. So this is actually a solid number for him. At 272 right now for its worldwide total, it's on a good track to make more, I say, than Captain America and the Brave New World, which is good because its total budget between the marketing and the production is around 280. So if it hits about 420, it'll be good. And so it's on a good track to do that. Now, this week we will have Destination Bloodlines coming out. It probably will be number 1, although I don't know what the tracking right now for that is. It will all depend on what the third weekend is, because if we look at movies like Captain America, while its second weekend wasn't that great, surprisingly it had a really solid third through 7th weekend drops. Like, it was only dropping 40 some odd percent, 30 some odd, 20 some odd. If Thunderbolts can follow that trajectory for at least the next week or so, it actually stands a really good shot in the long term. So we'll have to wait and see what the ultimate long term is going to be on this film. But right now, it's nowhere near in danger of flopping. It's nowhere in danger of not making money. Whatever. I've seen like 2 people try to paint this as Marvel's over, Marvel's done, this movie's not like, and admittedly they were people without very large YouTube channels. And everyone in the comments kind of like, yeah, no, you're really just hating on this movie because you don't like Marvel or whatever. And that's fine if you don't. Just be honest about it. Be upfront about the fact that you don't like Marvel. Now, why you want something to fail is still stupid. I don't know why anyone would want something to fail, because if too many things fail, that's bad for the industry. But as long as movies are succeeding, we are still going to be able to get a decent variety. Either way, Thunderbolts, still looking good. We'll see what the long term is. I'm thinking if it can hit about 500,000, this film's a success. Honestly, if it just hits 450, it's at minimum breaking even and making a little bit of money. If it ends up hitting 500 million, that's honestly a win. It's got to be a win, especially because the film isn't. Yes, it's all out there now. They're the new Avengers, but it's not an Avengers film. It's not like a true big one of those films. This is the B to C grade characters. So, the fact that it did as well as it did and as well as it's doing is actually really good for this film. So, good on it. Sinners, another film that's just doing fantastic and is still right now made more than the Thunderbolts. But to be fair, it's been in theaters longer. Made 20-some-odd million this week. What was it? It was 21.1 million roughly, dropping in only 36-some-odd%. Let's go back over here. For right now, a worldwide total of $283 million. Like this film is kind of one of those phenomenon films. Like it's come and it's taken names, and people are just here for it. It's only made on 90 million. Apparently, it only has about a budget of about 50 million. Marketing budget of about 50 million. So it long since made its money back, which damn straight it did. Even if it was 90 million in the marketing, which it wasn't, it would have made its money back at this point. But now it's made a nice chunk of change. It's getting all the praise. It's just got it's clearly going back. Not going back. Think word I'm trying to say here. It's clearly got the audience buzzing because people are going back to see this in very large numbers. Because it hasn't taken per weekend bigger than it hasn't taken bigger than a 36% drop. It took a 48% drop, or 4.8% drop the previous weekend. And yeah, it's second weekend with bigger releases. It took bigger drops, yes, but it's still taking less than 40% drops. Less than 30 second week, the third week, less than 40 the fourth week. I'll say less than 50 the fifth week then. So it is kind of on a roll at the moment. So everyone is just a bunch of sinners, and we're just all happy to be them. My girlfriend's also very interested in seeing it. She doesn't know when she'll get out, but she wants to see it. I encourage her to see it. I encourage anyone who hasn't seen it to see it, and anyone who wants to see it again to see it again. Thunderbolts and Sinners, 2 very different movies, but 2 excellent movies out in theaters right now. Sinners right now, though, I'd say is still the #1 film of the year right now. It is just better than Thunderbolts, like as just the type of film it is, the quality of film. And Thunderbolts is great. I love Thunderbolts. Right now, Thunderbolts would probably be either my second or third favorite film of the year right now. But yet, Sinners right now, it stands up top. Where do I think this is going to land, though? Like long term, it is starting to slow down a bit. Not a super slow amount, but it is starting to slow down a bit. Also, I have no idea if the international numbers are going to increase. Right now, it kind of seems stuck at that number, 68.9, and mostly it's the domestic that's kind of taking in a lot of the revenue. So I feel very confident saying it's going to make the extra 17 million to make it over 300 million. I'll say this. I think at its highest, it'll close out right around 400 million. I'm more inclined to say more closer to like 350, 375, but 400 at the max, which is still a hell of a success story for this film. Hell of a success story. And again, we talked about last 2 weeks why this film is doing as well as it is. So I guess also the question is, why is Thunderbolts doing as well as it is? Why did it only take a 55.5% drop? Well, because it's a damn good movie. Whether you personally like the film or not is up for debate, and totally fine if you don't. But we're looking at the overall, not the individual. And with the overall numbers and the word of mouth are saying this is a damn good film. And what's more important is it's Marvel, not because of it's Marvel, everything's great, but because Marvel tends to have bigger openings, so it has a bigger opening, but and therefore it has a bigger amount for its drop off, or it's a bigger amount left over for its drop off. But it's Marvel in the sense that after the less than stellar taste of Captain America, we wanted a good Marvel film. This is a good Marvel film, and so that I think is attractive for people who want to go be like, yes, thank you, finally giving us something we want. And hopefully Fantastic Four is going to be able to capitalize on this momentum and keep delivering. So we'll have to wait and see. Minecraft movie made $7.9, almost $8 million. Currently worldwide standing at 9.9.5, or 9.9, $909.5 million, 909. Look, I'm still going to say it's not hitting $1 billion. It's still got 91 million to go. Domestically, it's really starting to lose steam. I mean, if we look at the weekend box offices real quick, it opens, the biggest opening of the year at 162. Dropped only about 51%, then 48, then 43, then 39, and then 42. It's not making even $10 million now. That doesn't mean it still doesn't have like maybe 10 or 15 million domestically left in the tank, but that's not enough to get you to $1 billion. You need about right now $91-ish million to get to $1 billion. And the international is almost done as well. Like there might be a couple last gasps of revenue left in the international, but it is closing out pretty quick. I think we'll have our final answer if it can make $1 billion next week, because if it's not at 950 or at least 940, like not between 940 and 950 or up, so I guess 940 or up, then it's done. Like it's not going to be making $1 billion. But again, it doesn't have to. Movies, weirdly enough, conservatively only made on about 150 million or something like that. It was 100 million or 150. No, it was 150. So it was a little pricey to make the film, sure, but it long since made its money back. It's now a nice chunky profit for the studio, which they are here for. So why, I guess the question is, since we've been talking about why Sinners is doing so well, why Thunderbolts had a good second weekend, why did Minecraft become the first real big blockbuster of the year? And it comes down to a couple things, I think. One, the IP. It's a known IP. It's a very popular IP. There's plenty of fans of it. Two, and this is more important, well, I think a lot of people didn't feel like the movie was fantastic, amazing, whatever. In looking more on it, I'm like, it wasn't really that bad of a film. It was a fun little film. I didn't love it, but it falls right into the 55 out of 10. It's average, but an entertaining average. And I think that was really all that people wanted, was the film to be entertaining. Add on the fact that it's based, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a kid's film. There's certainly an adult joke here or there, but it's family friendly. And if you have a family friendly film based on an IP that is known by God knows how many, and you have no other competition out that can compete with that, you go make bank, and you clearly made bank with this. Not to mention you got Jack Black, who's very lovable, Jason Momoa, who's lovable, and then a bunch of actors whose names I don't recall. Like, I remember, was it Adobaya from Peacemaker, which I saw his trailer for season 2 for Peacemaker. Here for it, can't wait. But yeah, I don't really think words here. I don't really recall anyone else. They were like the biggest draw actors in the movie, hands down. And they both carry the movie on their shoulders. They do. And the movie still had a lot of fun moments to it, too. Again, that scene at the end with the villain and the knife is still is very fun. Like, legitimately, like, okay, that's a good joke. It's a good joke. Anyway. So then we have Accountant 2, which not doing the best for its for what it's made on. It's made on 90 million. It's only made about 76 some odd million dollars right now. It's not doing badly in terms of its drops. It only dropped like 38.8 35.8%. It took a good drop. It just didn't open big enough for these drops to be all that impressed. Because the last week, its second week, it dropped. What was it? It dropped 61%. Ugh. But I mean, it also didn't open very. If it opened, say, like 10 million more than this, we might be having a slightly different conversation. But it didn't. It opened to just under what the original made, and the original was made on much less than this. So unfortunately, yeah, this one will not be making its money back because it's made on 90 million. It's probably only got about 50 in marketing, if that. So you're still looking at a film that has to hit like 210 to break even. It just, I mean, maybe 50 market. I might be generous on that. You might be looking at more like 30 or 40. Even if it's 30, you still got to look at a movie at 180. And look, I like the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I also like the first movie a lot. I love the first movie. This is a really good follow-up. I wish it just did better, but I also wish Amazon knew how to budget their films a bit more, because the few Amazon films they've had come out don't necessarily know how to budget their films. To be fair, not every studio does. Like, Disney still needs to learn how to budget their fucking films. Snow White, which bombed, straight out just bombed. When your movie makes $202 million and you bomb, that's a problem. Like, it's one thing to, again, there's the term bomb and flop are interchangeable. It's one thing to flop. Flop for me is when you probably don't make your money back, but you're not losing a huge amount, and at least the audience and critics maybe liked you or something like that. So let's hypothetically, if a film it loses like 30 million or less, that's more of a flop than a bomb. It's a loss, it's a financial loss, but I really wouldn't call that a bomb, especially if the audience liked it. When your film's made on a minimum of 205, and I still can't find the exact numbers on what this budget was. When your film's made on that much money, and not including marketing, and you're losing like 100 million, and the audience kind of liked it, and the critics didn't, that's a bomb. So, yeah, like The Accountant 2 is going to honestly be more of a flop than a bomb. It's still going to lose a decent amount of money, unfortunately, but it is just going to be more of a flop than a bomb. Whereas something like Snow White is going to be a bomb. Again, watching Snow White, and I'm just going to break, since that we just looked at it, just talking about it real quick, looking at what it was made, what that movie looked like, you could have done it on about 50, you could have done it on about 150, which easy you could probably done it on 150. And no actor in that movie, Rachel Zegler or Gal Gadot, carries a name strong enough to warrant a paycheck that would have brought that all the way up to $200 million. Like, neither of them carry like a $10 million paycheck name with them, or a pedigree with them. Gal Gadot a little bit because she was Wonder Woman, so I could say definitely see her getting a couple million easy, like maybe 5 million. Rachel Zegler's the lead, so maybe 5 million, but if they were making anything, let's say above 10 million, that's 20 million just going to those two people alone. And you should know that when we talk about the budget, that does include salaries. So, my guess is, though, that neither of them did make 10 million. Gal Gadot probably made more because she was just the bigger name, even though Rachel Zegler was the lead. So, but still, like, maybe 15 between the two of them, maybe, but not 20 plus. And then it's not even factoring everyone else's paychecks. So, yeah. Anywho, Clown in the Cornfield debuted with 3.6 million. In fact, I don't even actually have to go to these pages. All this is the same. Yeah, Shadow Force made a little over 200 million, or 200 million. They wish 2 million, and Flight made over a little over 2 million. I didn't say any of these. I had intended to at least go out and see something, but finances got very tight this week, and I've had some personal business going on in my life that, so I just didn't feel like a good time to go to the movies. And I probably won't be catching either of them at this point because we're just gonna have to keep rolling along with the movies coming out. But I get paid this week and all that, so it's fine. I will be seeing Bloodlines this week, and hopefully I'll be doing maybe a twofer with Hurry Up tomorrow, just to understand what the F that film's about, man. But honestly, the best reviewed film out of this group is weirdly enough Fight or Flight at like 72%, which is apparently like the poor man's, like a lesser version of Bullet Train, from what I've understood. But a lesser version doesn't mean a bad film. Apparently, it's still a fun film. And I like Josh Hart in it, so. Until Dawn made a little over $2 million, currently standing at $44.3 million. All right, not bad, but still not enough to be making its money back. The Amateur made another $1.1 million, a little film that just quietly keeps on going. $90 million. That's another film that's more of a flop than a bomb. And then, other than that, they got The King of Kings, which currently stands at $64.9 million, so about 65. So, hey, look, that actually quietly went on to make its money back. That's good. Other than that, Warfare, a little over $500,000, $3.1 million. It's still not going to be making its money back. Yeah, otherwise, that's your box office for the week, folks. Now, that being said, is it still a good box office? Yeah, because if you just factor in the top, not even the top 10, I mean, you're looking at what, 54 million right there, and then 55, 62, 68, 70, 68, 72, about 76-ish million, almost $80 million this week. Bit of a low weekend for May, admittedly, but, you know, we're really starting to roll into the summer movie season. So, yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes up for that. Next week, though, we have, Hurry Up Tomorrow probably will be in the top 5, but it's not going to be in the double digits, I don't think. I don't think a lot of people care about this film. They also just haven't done a good job of marketing what the hell this film's about. Like, you'd have to go up and look up a synopsis for it, and that's not good marketing. So, right now, if Thunderbolts has a similar trajectory to Captain America and takes more like a 40 or less % drop next week, which is very possible. Let's see, that would mean that 3.3, let's just say 45-ish. Let's be nice and say 45-ish. That would mean that you're looking at a film drops about 13, makes about 20, low 20s next week. Do I think Bloodlines makes more than that? I mean, it's a known franchise. The trailers have looked a lot of fun. I was conservative to say yes. Bloodlines, the Final Destination Bloodlines, will be number 1 next week. I'll then put Thunderbolts at number 2. I still feel very confident on that. I'll then put Sinners at number 3. Still feel very confident in that. And then I'll also put the Minecraft. Well, actually, that's. I'll then put Hurry Up Tomorrow at number 4. Because after that, I mean, Minecraft's still going to end up dropping probably 40-some-odd%. So that means it's going to be dropping close to 3 million-ish. So I think Hurry Up Tomorrow can at least make like 5 million. And then I'll put a Minecraft movie. So ultimately, that's my thoughts. What do you think? What do you think of the box office? What do you think the next week's box office is going to look like? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.